this is the first question, guys. What do you think is the average rate of return on equity in India in the past 20 years? Even if you do not know, try. Being wrong over here will not cost you anything, but being wrong in real life when you're managing money might cost you a lot. Okay, 6.5 to 8.5%. Great. Devendra says 22%. Kavita says 40%. Okay. Any other answers? Any other others who want to give in? Okay, Asmi says 15, 10, 6 to 7%. All right. So you can see that these are actual figures that I'm going to give you. And this is actually the average rate of return that India has seen through their equity market in the last 20 years. It's about 17.5%, guys, 17.5% every year. And when we say it's the average return, it means there must have been years where you would have gotten 20, 25, 30% return also. But at the same time, there might have been years where you might have even gotten negative returns. But the game that we will learn to play in investments is the long-term game, where we'll not try to time the market, but we'll play time, stay for longer periods to ensure that we get such handsome returns over a period of time. Great. Next one. What percentage of Indians do you think are considered to be financially literate as per the ADB? That's the Asian Development Bank. There was a survey that was done. How many do you think are financially literate according to this survey? 60%, 40%, 33%, 45%. Okay, again, there's 35, 33, lots of 30s coming in, 40%, 62%, 60%. Okay. Oh, Vranda comes to 27%. I don't know where she got this, but bang on. It's unfortunate that just about 27% are considered to be financially literate, guys. That's the truth of the matter. And I agree as an Indian, it's very low, Himeka. It's very low. I agree, but that's the truth. That's why we say that just because we are investing in stock markets, we are buying insurance policies or opening bank accounts, that does not make us financially literate. There is a lot more to do as a country, as a community, to make sure that our financial literacy levels need to increase and come up to standards that are there in the world overall. Somewhere around 65, 70% is what we see in developed nations in today's times. And last question. Most of us retire around the age of 60, 65 in India. All right. Most of us retire around the age of 60, 65, and we are expected in India, the life expectancy is about 75, 80%, 80 years. How many people do you think that have enough fund at the time of retirement? Say if I'm retiring at the age of 60, I need to have money to sustain for the next 15, 20 years. What percentage of Indians do you think have enough funds? Do not have enough retirement funds at the age of 60. Pensions are not enough. As per me, they should invest prior. Okay. 10%, 50%, 80%. So again, shockingly, about 60% of Indians do not have the requisite retirement fund at the time of retirement. And obviously that raises a lot of alarms. It's something that we need to work again towards as a community to resolve this problem, especially with the fact that we are moving towards more of a nuclear family structure in the society. It makes it more important for us to be able to have enough funds for ourselves so that we can sustain after the retirement has happened. Okay. What is money for you guys? What is money for you? Simple question. What do you think money is to you? Money is savings. Money is basic requirement, medium of exchange. Money is freedom. Interesting. It's a medium of exchange. It gives you purchasing power, basic source of life. Money is survival. Money is everything. Okay. So in essence, if I would like to summarize what you guys have put in, everyone is saying that money in some way or the other is a necessity, is a need, is something that will give you freedom. So it's definitely a very, very important and an integral part of life for all of us. But unfortunately, the culture and the societal backing that we guys have, we do not talk about money to children a lot. And we do not teach about money and money management to children a lot. Oftentimes as children, haven't we heard of these terms like money doesn't grow on trees, learn to value money. You guys are getting so much with ease. That's why you're spending a lot. Do you guys get these things from your adults, from your friends, from your siblings, from your parents? isn't it? You do, yeah, exactly. All of us have done that too. Even today, I get it from my father and my mother, ki, haan, because you're getting so much money, you're splurging it around, you don't realize the value of it. But we want to change this. As Super Sarathi, this is something we feel is a pain area. Children are being taunted upon it or scolded about it, but very few of us are actually taking initiatives as adults to teach them about what money actually is. And whatever you guys have written in the chat box, money is all of those things. It is a medium of exchange. It is a measure of value. It is something definitely that gives you freedom. It gives you a sense of security. And that's why it becomes very, very important for us to be financially literate, to have the right money management skills up our sleeves so that we do not face issues when we grow as adults, and we do not have to compromise upon our goals, our dreams. Eventually, we are earning money. We are making money to ensure that we can spend it in the way we want. We can have the dreams and goals that we want to achieve through the money that we are earning. And that is what we want to learn over here, that how do we budget correctly? How do we invest correctly so that tomorrow, when we need money for a particular thing that we want to enjoy, we are not short of it, guys. That's the main objective that we want to achieve. Okay, so let's start this journey. And I'll be starting this journey by breaking some myths about finance. Like I said, most of us in our world think finance is about investments, finance is about stock investing, which is not true at all. I've already mentioned it to you guys that it has a lot of more things, from budgeting to planning to insurance to taxation to cyber security. Loads of things come in apart from investments, which prepare you for a financially healthy journey. How many of you think, guys, gold jewelry is an investment? Is jewelry investment? Gold jewelry investment? Yes, of course. No. Okay. Khushi, we'll look at your question, what is equity, tomorrow for sure. So please hold on for it and be patient. I'll answer this question for sure, but not today. Thank you. Yeah. So guys, let me be honest. Gold jewelry is not an investment. Someone had written gold bonds. Yes, you are correct. There are also gold biscuits, gold bars, digital gold. These are forms of investments. Gold jewelry in the finance world is not considered to be investment, guys, because if you prepare, and I'm not saying don't buy gold jewelry, buy gold jewelry if you want to wear it, if you want to consume it. And I understand that completely. There's nothing wrong in doing that. But if you think of it as investments, yes, I get an answer. The making costs, the making charges that you pay to the jewelers, and obviously you do not get 100% pure gold when you're making jewelry. That is a lot of expense that you're incurring. So even if gold appreciates for the gold jewelry that you have made, when you go ahead and sell it back or to get some money out of it, the making charges that you have paid on it are hefty enough to wipe off almost all the returns that you would get. Instead, if you are, yes, gold biscuits are there, gold coins are there, gold bars are there. These are physical forms of gold that you can buy and you can store it in a locker. But that would also incur some charges as rents on the locker that you pay. Instead, now there are things like digital gold, gold bonds by the government. You have gold ETFs, exchange traded funds. These are various things that you can use and you can invest in. Tanista, digital gold is, again, it's basically electronic form of paper that promises to you that you have invested X amount of money, vis-a-vis Y amount of gold is credited in your account. It's in a digital form, so you don't have to worry about its theft or its saving in lockers, etc. So cost-wise, it is pretty cheap to manage. All right, next up. Do you hear this when you talk to adults? Don't take much risk when you're investing. You should be safe. You should probably put your money in FDs. You should put your money in savings account. But unfortunately, guys, if you have to build wealth, there has to be a slight element of risk that you will need to take. One thing, always remember, high risk, high expected returns is something that is true in finance. If someone tells you that, yes, I have a product where you have very, very low risk and very high returns, understand that that is some Ponzi scheme, some fraudulent scheme, or some risk element in that person has not declared to you. There cannot be any element which gives you any asset that gives you very high returns but has low risks. All right. So if you have to build good wealth, you have to have some element of calculated risk that you need to take. So there's a question that I've gotten: how can we make sure to take a risk while trying not to have a big loss? That's what I'm trying to say, that we have to study, we have to analyze what our needs are, what our goals are. Based on that, we will prepare a financial strategy for ourselves and be able to invest in places which will minimize our risk, at the same time be able to help us achieve our goals. All right. We will look at those things over the period of the next 3 days. Next myth that we are looking at here is life insurance is an investment tool. How many of us agree here that when you purchase insurance, you need to look at it as a savings tool or an investment tool and definitely calculate returns on it? Life insurance is an investment tool. You have seen your parents talk about it. Okay, that my LIC is maturing, my insurance is maturing, I'm getting this much return, I'm getting that much return. Itna lump sum mein value aa raha hai. But honestly, guys, already Arun has told you that I come from an actuarial science background. I train a lot of actuaries. I've trained a lot of actuaries in designing certain aspects of these policies. It is not an investment tool, guys. It is not at all an investment tool. Insurance, any form of insurance, not just life insurance, any form of insurance. And again, we look at insurance, life and health specifically. Insurance is only a protection tool. Insurance is nothing else. It's a protection tool against any sort of unanticipated or unfortunate financial loss that might occur for you. It's a protection tool, guys. It's not an investment tool. Never look at it as an investment tool. There are better investment avenues and savings avenues that we will learn about. Go for those. Keep insurance only for protection purpose. Next up, invest when you earn more money. So when we take sessions with corporates or colleges, oftentimes people keep telling us, ki, sir, abhi to we are just earning 10,000 rupees, 20,000 rupees, 30,000 rupees. Let us enjoy right now. When we make 50,000, 1 lakh rupees, 2 lakh rupees is when I'll start with my investments. Do you agree with this theory? Do you agree with this theory, guys? Exactly. Do not wait for you to earn a lot of money. Don't do that. Start investing as soon as possible. And I will show you some math where you will see what is the price you pay for procrastination. And trust me, it's a very, very heavy price. It's a very, very heavy price to pay. Okay. Couple of questions that I'll just take up. We have, would old jewelry be considered as an investment? Not ideally. So no form of gold jewelry is investment or old jewelry is investment because you have incurred those making charges. But obviously, if it is lying with you, it is there. You can obviously liquidate it and get cash if required. Only if required. See, jewelry for Indians, as Indians, I'll speak, it has a lot of emotional value also attached to it. And no one would ideally want to sell jewelry, to be very honest. It's only in dire situations that we would want to part way with our jewelry or with our home. So they are not supposed to be considered investments ideally for us. Okay. So invest more money when you earn more money is not the right amount. Even if you start with 500 rupees, we have good mutual funds that are there in this country, which the companies have provided us with. Mutual fund companies are allowing us to start with as small as 500 rupees every month, which all of us spend in a dinner, on a dinner or on a coffee date also. So that's how small an investment can start from, and never shy away from doing it. Okay. Lastly, youngsters do not need health insurance. Youngsters do not need health insurance. How many of you agree with me? Youngsters do not need health insurance. For those who might not know what health insurance is basically if you fall ill, especially if you're hospitalized, undergoing some surgery or a major ailment, the insurance company will pay for your treatment. That's what health insurance ideally does. So yes, thank you. Most of you are saying that it is required for youngsters also. And we have all seen COVID. Unfortunately, we saw what travesty it can be if we do not have health insurance for the youngsters also. So we need to make sure that we catch ourselves young in terms of getting insurance. And it is cost beneficial also. If you're young and you take insurance at a younger age, you will get lower premiums to pay, a better deal to crack, and it'll be financially wise. Not just from your health perspective, but financially wise to take it at a younger age from a long-term perspective. So these are some of the myths that I wanted to right away address before we get into the budgeting part of it. Now, let us see what the process of financial planning is. We have looked at different aspects and spoken about different aspects of financial planning. But let us set a framework for ourselves, guys. It's always helpful as human beings if we have a plan, if we have a step-by-step guide that we can follow. So the first two steps tell you where you stand today. Okay. What are your goals? What is your current scenario? What are your expenses? What are your incomes? What assets you already have? What are your liabilities that you have? By liabilities, I mean, what are the dependencies you have? If there is a loan that you have taken, if there are dependents on your income, what are those things that you have? Absolutely analyze your current situation thoroughly. Look at what your goals are. So you have starting point A, which is your current scenario, and ending point B, which are your goals. So you basically understand where you are starting from and where you want to go. Anytime you want to embark upon a journey, these are the two things you start with. So today I am sitting out of Siliguri and tomorrow I want to travel to Delhi. So first I need to know where I am. And second, I need to know where I'm going to go. Only then will I be able to plan for this journey. This is the journey where we will look at the three most important things: banking, investments, and insurance. These are the three things which will plan your journey from the starting point of current scenario to your goals. And obviously, you will have multiple goals that you will look at every point in time in life, not just one. So not an issue with that at all. So once we have identified our current situation, once we know where we want to go, will we start our planning where we need to know about the banking facilities, investment opportunities, and insurance that we need to take. Okay. Now, when we start a journey, if I'm talking about a travel situation, if I want to go from Siliguri to Delhi, if I want to go from Mumbai to Calcutta, wherever, what will you do is you will try to understand what kind of travel are we going to go through. As in, do I want to take up do I want to travel through the train? Do I want to take a flight? Do I want to go by car? There are various ways that you can take up. Similarly, over here, we need to identify the person's risk profile to begin with. That is, whether a person is happy taking slightly riskier opportunities and riskier options to invest or to prepare for his or her financial plan, or their capacity to take risk is a little less. They want to play safe. So you identify with that kind of profile for yourself. Remember, guys, it's a personal journey. What works for you may not work for me. What works for me may not work for you. Firstly, the goals will be different. You would have certain other goals. I will have certain other goals. So our investment strategies and our planning strategies need to be completely aligned to our goals. Secondly, your attitude towards risk and my attitude towards risk may be different. And there is nothing right or wrong in that. It's a personal choice that you're making. So again, you need to understand how, yes, you're right, what they think, what the investor thinks about investments or the situations that they are in, and how they would want to address that particular situation. Okay. Once you understand that, we look at how to allocate assets. That is, if you have, say, 5 lakh rupees with you, okay, this is an arbitrary number. Don't think of it to be high or low. If you have 5 lakh rupees, where do you want to put that money? How do you want to invest that money? Okay. So those investment strategies and asset allocation that you need to do becomes a key part of your strategy that you're making based on the goals. Again, it will be tied up to the goals. If I need 15 lakh rupees 5 years from now, and I have 5 lakh rupees today, and if I can multiply that to become 15 lakhs, I'll have to traverse through that journey of 5 years of this financial journey to be able to reach 15 lakhs at the end of 5 years. If I reach that goal 7 years from now, that might not be helpful for me. Okay. And lastly, once you have made a strategy, once you have made any sort of plan, you need to monitor it and rebalance it almost every 6 months. The thumb rule that we follow in the financial planning domain is we need to monitor and rebalance it every 6 months, guys. Because every 6 months, either your goals will change or your current scenario will change. As a result of which, your asset allocation, asset strategy, allocation strategy, risk profiles may be required to be modified. Clear? So it's very important to always look back upon the journey you have already embarked upon and accordingly switch your allocation strategy, your investment strategy, your plans according to the conditions that are prevailing now. Yes, you're right. Conditions may have changed. Your scenario may have changed. The goals may have changed. There may be new products that are there in the market now, or the taxation regime might have been changed by the government, as a result of which the returns are reduced or increased in a particular asset. So those changes need to be taken care of. All right. Now, again, let's have some quick chats. I told you, I'll tell you what price you will have to pay for procrastination. If you're ready to pay this price, great, then we can procrastinate. Else we'll start as soon as we can for our investments. All right, guys. The situation is here where we have three people. Okay. We have three people. One will be a 25-year-old person. Another is a 30-year-old person. And the third one is a 35-year-old. So 25, 30, and 35 at an age gap of 5 years. Okay. All of them are investing 25,000 rupees a month. And the return that they are expected to get is 15% per annum. So the amount every month that they're investing is the same. The returns they're getting are the same. Now, what I will want you guys to help me with is, at the age of 40, you have to tell me what their total portfolio or fund value will be. Yani ki, if they have invested 25,000 rupees a month, what is the amount they're investing every year then? If it's 25,000 rupees a month, guys, what's the amount every year? If someone is investing, yes, 3 lakhs. Okay. So 300,000 or 3 lakh rupees every year they are investing. Okay. So you have three people, 25-year-old, 30-year-old, 35-year-old. So 25-year-old invests for 15 years from 25 to 40. 30-year-old invests from 30 to 40. And the last one invests only for 5 years. Okay. Are you fine with this? Over a period of 15 years, a 25-year-old would have invested 45 lakh rupees. No, Himika, we will not so returns are always calculated in the compound manner. It is not calculated in simple interest manner when you're talking of finance and investments in general. Okay. So we look at compound interest. Thanks for the question. So a 25-year-old, if he or she is investing 3 lakh rupees a year for 15 years, they would have invested 45 lakhs. The 30-year-old would have invested 30 lakhs. And the 35-year-old would have invested 15 lakhs. Now, what you have to tell me is, at the age of 40, after investing for 15 years at 45 lakh rupees with a return of 15% per annum, what do you think will be the total fund value for this person at the age of 40, guys? Give me any number that you think would be correct for this. He or she has invested 45 lakh rupees. Asmi, is it 6.75 crores you're saying? 6.75 crores, isn't it? So one answer I've gotten is 6.75 crores is what they think. Then we have 1.69 crores. We have 7 crores. Any other guesses, guys? The 25-year-old, if he or she has invested for 15 years, how much money do you think they will have in their portfolio at the age of 40? Assuming a 15% return. $69 crores is one of the answers. It's a little too off. 69 crores is way too high, guys. 57.5 lakhs I'm getting. I also got about 37 crores. We have 1 crore, 1.5 crore. Okay. I also have 65 lakhs. Okay. The answer is 1.69 crores, guys. So at the age of 40, this person would have 1.69 crores with him or her, if provided they would have invested 25,000 rupees per month religiously for 15 years, and they would have generated a 15% return. All right. Now, tell me what this figure would be for the 30-year-old. The difference is just this, that will be 30 lakhs. The invested amount is 30 lakhs over a period of 10 years. What would be the amount? So I have an answer of 1 crore. I have another answer of 1.25 crores. I have another answer of 1.1 crore. 95 lakhs, 1.25 crores. 69 lakhs, 3 crores. How is it 3 crores? How can it be 3 crores? You have invested lesser. It cannot be 3 crores. 98 lakhs. So the answer is 69 lakhs, guys. I got a correct answer. There was one person who had given me the correct answer, 69 lakhs. So now you see that over a period of 5 years, this person has just about invested 15 lakhs more than this person. Only 15 lakhs more this person has invested over the next 5 years, which this person did not. And there is a difference of about 1 crore rupees, 1 crore rupees in the fund value. So see, the benefit of investing just 5 years or starting investing 5 years ago compared to this person, you have invested only 15 lakhs more than this person, and you have ended up actually having 1 crore more than this person. So see, your wealth has more than doubled if you started investing 5 years ago, more than doubled. Similarly, last one, any guesses, guys? Any guesses for the last person? If you start at 35, if you start at 35, just 5 years of investments, just about 15 lakh rupees invested. I have 22 lakhs, 20 lakhs, 50 lakhs. 1 lakh is not correct. You have already invested 15 lakhs. So it has to be above 15 lakhs. Okay, I have 30 lakhs. 7 lakhs is also not correct. Guys, we have already invested 15. So return to uske upar hoga, no? 15 to hai. So the answer is 22.42 lakhs, guys. 22 lakhs. Just about 22 lakhs is what this person would make. So again, see, if I compare just about 30 lakh rupees more, and you're making more than about 1.45 crores, about 1.45 crores. And over here also in 5 years, it's become almost one third of the wealth. So you see, this is what we call power of compounding. And we look at it in the next session tomorrow. This is the power of compounding. If you stay in the market for a longer period, guys, it's all about persistence and discipline. If you stay in the market for the longer period, creating wealth, growing money like a tree is not a very big challenge. Trust me. It's just that you have to play the long game. Be patient. Why do you think there is a sudden increase in the need for financial planning, guys? Like I said, when we were in school, these things were not talked about enough, or there was not much exposure for all this. Suddenly in the last 1.5 years, you see a lot of influencers talking about personal finance on social media. You see a lot of schools, like Arun just said, I'm here to visit a school for this. Suddenly people have started talking about financial planning and personal finance a lot for adults as well. So I have some answers coming in. We have reckless spending because of COVID. Inflation has risen. There are more opportunities now. Risk has increased, so no one knows what's going to happen tomorrow. People are more aware now, so they are doing this for it. Unemployment is high, expenses are high. So partly you guys are correct, partly incorrect. So inflation has always been there, guys. Inflation is something that we have lived with, and there have been periods of inflation which have gone up in spurts and gone down. So that's not just one of the reasons, but there are various social changes that we are going through. And I'll come to a couple of answers that I saw in the chat. Thank you for them. But before that, I'll just highlight this point. Earlier, what used to happen is, guys, a lot of people started young in terms of working. They used to start at the age of 18, 19, 20. Look at your fathers and grandfathers, mothers and grandmothers. They would have started working pretty early compared to what we do today. What we do today is we study up till the age of 23, 24, 25 sometimes with our MBA, engineering, graduation, etc. And then about at the age of 25 is when we join the workforce and start earning. And earlier people used to work till the age of 60, 62, but now there is a tendency to retire early. There is a concept called FIRE, financially independent and retire early. That means you earn your money quickly, get a good amount of wealth that you create, and then retire early to enjoy your life after retirement. So that is another concept that has come up as a change in the society that we are seeing. Plus, due to medical advancements, you live longer. So your retirement phase has become longer. Now, earlier you had about 40, 42 years to earn. And after retirement, you had about 7, 8, maximum 10 years of expectancy left. So the fund that you had to create was only about for 10 years, and you had about 40 years to do that. Whereas now you are working for just about 25, 30 years, and you're living for another 20, 25 years after that. So you have to create a bigger pool of fund because you're living for a longer period after retirement and you have lesser working time. Okay. There was another answer that I saw, and that was a very good answer, which is reckless spending. I would avoid the word using reckless, but because of the globalization that is there, easy access to credit, you have credit cards, you have loans that are easily available. All of us keep getting calls that, sir, loan le lijiye, card le lijiye, all these things keep happening. So access to money or access to spending power has increased over a period of time for all of us, as a result of which our expenses have gone up. Hence, the requirement for financial planning is even more. I've already touched upon the fact that we are now moving to a nuclear family setup even in India. So a lot of us don't live with our parents. Our parents stay in another city. We stay in another city. So all the more reason now we have to earn better, manage money better so that we can take care of two houses vis-a-vis just one earlier that was there in a joint family setup. Clear? So these are some of the reasons which have come up in these past years, as a result of which it is very, very important for us to make sure to understand finance and financial planning even more in detail. Clear, guys? Hope you guys are with me till now. So let's move to the next topic. Okay. What do you think? What are needs and wants? And why is it important when we start personal finance? This is the first topic that you're doing. Why do you think needs and wants are important? And what are needs and wants according to you guys? Needs are a must for living and survival. Needs are necessary. Needs are basic necessities. Wants are to enhance the way of living. Okay. Wants are desires. Are wants bad, guys? Are wants, should you don't have wants? Wants are unnecessary. Okay. Wants are good, but in a limit. Needs are limited, but wants are unlimited. Exactly. So good answers, guys. So if I would want to bifurcate certain articles and certain services and products that we use in day-to-day life, shelter, food, basic clothes, basic amenities, these are needs. If these are not fulfilled, we'll not be able to survive. Wants, on the other hand, are things that are aspirational, that are desires, that help us enhance the way or standard of living that we have. However, I want to give a disclaimer over here because a lot of people keep saying wants are greedy, wants are bad. It's not. It's not at all bad. Phone we'll come to. I got an answer. I just now saw phone. We'll discuss whether phone is a need or a want. Okay. We'll see that. Because guys, there's no mathematical formula to say if a particular thing is a need or a particular thing is a want. We'll see various reasons or various parameters that we want to understand and take into account before deciding what is a need and what is a want. Okay. So first and foremost, how do we differentiate between needs and wants? Assess the urgency. That is, try and see that do you need this particular product or service now? Can you do without it? Now, a lot of us do a lot of online shopping. Okay. And there is an impulse to quickly add something to the cart and buy. Isn't that true? Haven't you guys done it, or you see your parents or your siblings do it? It's very common that all of us do this and fall prey to impulsive buying. And that's where we kind of sometimes go out of our budget or toss our budget out of the window and fall into a trap of a place where we have spent more than what we should ideally, even on things which are not necessary for us. So clearly, such things need to be assessed more in detail before making any sort of purchase or whatsoever. And one thing that we give as a technique or as a mantra to people in our sessions and elsewhere also is try the 30-day rule. So for example, if I want to buy a pair of jeans from a particular brand and I know that it is slightly expensive, what I do for myself is if I'm having that urge of buying that particular jeans today, I will not buy it today. I'll mark it in my notes and I'll say, okay, 30 days later, I'll buy this for myself. Let me save till then. Now, 30 days later, I will reassess whether I still have that kind of urge to buy that jeans. If I don't have that urge, I strike that off, remove it from the cart, and happily I have saved that money. But if I still have that urge and that need, and I now know that I have already spent 30 days, yet I want that thing, is when I go ahead and purchase it. So that stops me from impulsive buying. And trust me, guys, I've landed up saving 80% to 85% of the money that I would have otherwise spent on goods which are not required for me. So this is something that you guys can start ASAP. There's nothing required for this. Just make sure that whenever you have an impulse to buy something and you think you want to buy something and you're not clear about whether it is needed or not, Wait for 30 days. If after 30 days you still think you need it as much as you did 30 days ago, please feel free to buy it. Okay, next. Weigh the consequences of whether you procure the product or service today. You will want it. How will your life get affected? Okay, and if you do not have it, how will your life get affected? Prepare a pros and cons list, a cost and benefit analysis, and see that if that product or service is with you today, how is it going to enhance your life? And if it is not there, how is it going to kind of reduce your standard of living in any way? Okay. Yeah, Dhruv, if you have any question, please feel free to put it in the Q&A box. I'm keeping a tab on it and I'll get back to you. So I have a question here. Even if the urge for buying that pair of jeans has ended, we might get into the urge of buying something else. Yes, absolutely. So again, put a 30-day target on that. So whenever you have a urge to buy a particular product, wait for 30 days is what I'm trying to say. If you're unclear about its need right now, if you're absolutely clear, I'm not saying this that, okay, your jeans are torn or your shoes are worn out and you don't buy it. Don't do that. That's a need. Please go ahead and buy it right away. But if you know that it's not a need or you're unable to figure out whether it is a need or not, then give yourself that 30-day bracket to not land up purchasing it as an off-the-hook thing. Okay. If the person is still not sure about buying the product after 30 days, then honestly, Prisha, I have been in that state. That means that it is not needed enough for me. I then remove it from the cart and I'll see if that urge comes back. At least for that time, I've saved that money, because if I'm not sure myself, why to put money into that thing and waste my hard-earned money? Yeah. So assess the consequences. And lastly, obviously, guys, evaluate the cost. Because everything is coming at a cost. You need to ensure that whatever product or service you're investing in, they need to have that return for you, that material return, that satisfaction, that utility, in order to make you feel that, yes, it's a good purchase, it's a good buy, it's a value buy. All right. A lot of us try to purchase products during sales to ensure that we get that same top, same jeans, same footwear at probably a 40%, 30% discounted rate. Yes, quality is important. You need to ensure that what you're paying for is commensurate to the quality you're getting. Only then will it give you that value that it promises you and kind of give you the satisfaction for it. Yes, we will open it up for Q&A. Don't worry. I am looking at the Q&A section even now. And whatever is relevant for me to be able to answer now, I'll keep answering them. Don't worry, guys. Quickly, we'll have some questions for you. Let's have some activity. On needs and wants, you have looked at certain aspects already. And now what I will give you as a task is, you guys will let me know in the chat box, which article according to you is a need, which article according to you is a want. Okay. Which article according to you is a need, which article according to you is a want. Clear? Now, we have these 5 articles, guys. Shelter, mineral water, designer clothes, laptop, and food. What do you think according to you is a need out of this, and what do you think is a want? So I'm getting some answers. Shelter is a need, food is a want, food is a need again. Mineral water is need. Okay. Come on, guys. Some more answers. Mineral water is a need. Mineral water is a want. Someone says mineral water is a want. When I say mineral water, it's these bottled waters, the Bisleris and the Kinleys that we purchase, guys. Laptop is a want. Okay, I also get laptop as a need. Interesting. Needs are only food and shelter. Rest are wants. All right, great. So I hope that all of you have made a note of what you wrote. It's slightly difficult for me to kind of make a note for all of you. Just make a note of what you think these are, what out of these 5 are needs and what out of these 5 are wants. Okay, just keep a note of it. Now, I'll give you 3 scenarios. And under those 3 scenarios, you will tell me according to you if a particular article out of these 5 switches from being a need to a want or a want to a need. Okay, scenario 1. Scenario 1. Due to a stomach ailment, the doctor has asked the patient to be extra cautious of infections through food and water. Tap water in his region is not treated very well by the authorities. So for this particular person in this particular situation, do you think something from a need turns to a want or otherwise? Okay, I see someone has messaged, yes, mineral water becomes a need for him or her. Mineral water is now a need. Mineral water is now become a need from a want. So see, what I was trying to tell you guys earlier was that if I twist the situation, if I put certain elements in the situation, the need might become a want or the want might become a need. I agree from a personal perspective that bottled water, mineral water is a want for normal people. But in this scenario, it becomes a need. In this scenario, it becomes a need. Great answer, guys. Next. Yes, so sometimes there may not be wrong answers or right answers in case of needs and wants. That's why if you saw the slide earlier, I don't know, I'll just show it to you once I'll go back to it. Needs, wants, and everything in between. There might be a gray area sometimes where you might not correctly be able to say if it's a need or a want, and it would depend from the person at hand or who is in that situation. Okay. Next. A new fashion designer has been invited to a red carpet event of the film industry where she will be able to showcase her collection. Do you think now something changes to a need, which was earlier a want, or want changes to a need? So I immediately get designer clothes becomes a need. Designer clothes become a need. I still see some people saying it's still a want, it's not a need. Okay. If it helps her career, it may become a need. So see, within us also, within what we are 62 people here, within us, we are getting different perspectives. Some people are saying, yes, designer clothes become a need because now if she wears those designer clothes, it's kind of an advertisement that she's putting up in front of those Bollywood celebrities to be able to crack through for her business. All right. Some of them are saying, no, it's not required for her to wear designer clothes if she can't afford it. It's the work that will speak for herself and be able to get the clients. Both perspectives are correct, not denying that any of them is wrong, but now you see how it changes, how the situation makes it difficult sometimes for you to be able to decide what's a need for you and what's a want for you. If you take my input, if I was supposed to write in for you, my input here would be that definitely from a business perspective, from an entrepreneurial background that I hail from, I might want to wear some designer clothes here, outfit here, especially if I am a designer, I would wear my design clothes itself so that I can flaunt my label. At the same time, I would definitely see the price tag that I'm wearing for. I would not want to go for a very high one if I can't afford it. All right. Next, last scenario that I have for you. The increase in online classes after COVID has made education accessible without geographical boundaries being a constraint. What article, according to you, becomes a need or becomes a want now? Laptop becomes a need. Laptop becomes a need. Okay. Exactly, guys. This is something that we have seen for most of our households. You guys are witness because you guys are doing it. All of you are in school right now. You would have seen that change. Most of you I saw were in high school, 9 to 12th. So you would be in middle school somewhere where you would when COVID started. And I'm sure most of you would not have a laptop then. But today we need a laptop. All of you need a laptop. It's almost a need. It's almost a necessity for your education. So this was a change which was not personal. It was a society level change because of some calamity that happened. All right. So we need to understand that how scenarios keep changing, how situations keep changing from person to person, from society to society, which kind of tell you what needs are, what wants are. Clear? I hope these small exercises gave you a better insight of understanding of what a need and a want is. If yes, tell me in the chat box, guys. Great. I see. Yes, understood. It was amazing. It gave me a new perspective. Nice. Let's move to the next section, guys. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. Budgeting. Again, what comes to your mind, guys, when I say the word budgeting? Do you think it's important? Do you think budgeting is important? Yes. What is budgeting according to you guys? Budget. क्या होता है? Budget क्या होता है? Like, what comes to your mind when I say budget? How to handle your cash flows, how to save, allotting money, savings and utilities smartly, careful, allocation of money. Plan. Yeah, I'll just steal that answer someone has just given. It's a plan, guys. Budget is a plan. It tells you where you are going to get money from and where that money is going to go in very simple terms. In very simple terms, it tells you a plan for how that money is going to come to you through various sources of incomes that you will have, and where that money will go in terms of savings, investments, and expenses. Clear, guys? That's what a budget tells you. Why is it important? Is because only if you measure things will you be able to maneuver those things. By that I mean is, if you do not know yourself where you're getting your money from or where your money is going, how will you be able to utilize it more efficiently and more judiciously for your goals and for your dreams? That is why budgeting becomes really important. Really important. All right. If I prepare a budget and I look back on what I've spent money on, will I be able to see, am I spending a certain higher amount of money in unnecessary things? If yes, I can cut down on those and probably increase my savings or investments or places which will help me get more utility. All right. So budgeting is the cornerstone, guys. It's the fundamental part of financial planning. That's where everything begins. You put everything down on an Excel sheet where your incomes are coming from, what are your expenses, what are your savings, what are your investments. That tells you that how much spare cash you have, what your current situation is. Are you having enough cash flow? Are you having enough assets, or the liabilities are overburdening you? Okay. Now, there's a principle that can be spoke about or start like that can be a starting point for individuals like you who are starting and are young at this age. It's called the 50-30-20 principle, guys, of budgeting. And I'll tell you, it's just a thumb rule. You might not follow this to the T, and I'll tell you the reason why also. What this principle tells you is that out of the income that you get as children, what are the sources of incomes for you guys? What are the sources of income for you? Gift income, very true. Pocket money, family. So in India, we get a lot of money. We tend to get a lot of money when relatives come from outside your city, or during Diwali, Holi, some festival at home. Yes, festivals and relatives. Pocket money is something that we get. Agreed? So that's your source of income. Now, what happens is, if you look at the bigger picture, when you will start earning, there are three ways in which your income will go out of your pockets. One is spending your money on the needs. We have already understood what needs are. Second is spending your money on wants. And third is saving money. So when we start in our careers, a good place to start is the 50-30-20 rule, which says 50% of your income should go towards needs, 30% of your income should go towards wants, and 20% of your income should go towards your savings. Do you guys agree with this? Okay, I'm getting yes, yes, yes. So what we are trying to say here is that, okay, when I'm savings, when I say savings, I am clubbing savings and investments together, guys, right now. We will look at how to differentiate between them a little later. Okay. Now, this is a good starting point, definitely. But when our incomes increase, when our income levels increase, say today I earn 1 lakh rupees a month and I'm spending 50,000 rupees on my needs and needs, 30,000 on my wants and 20,000 as my savings and investment. If that income goes up to 2 lakhs, does that mean my needs will increase to 1 lakh rupees? No, exactly. The percentage of allocation that I will put to needs would be lower than, because my needs are my shelter, my food, my clothes, my basic transport, my phone, etc. It cannot double just because my income has doubled. All right. So that's why the percentage rule that we have here, 50-30-20, kind of reduces or changes the element of needs when our income starts increasing. Now, what will happen is, say this drops to 30%. Now you have 20% extra. That's where your personal finance smartness comes in, your expertise comes in, that how much do you want to put into wants and how much do you want to put into your savings and investments? All right. Clear? Over here, ideally, you would want to increase your savings. And obviously, I'm not saying don't spend on wants, increase your wants also, but increase your savings more. Clear? So your percentage can probably change to 30, 40, 30 or 30, 35, 35. All right. So those are the things that can help you understand how to create your budget. Does that make sense, guys? If yes, please send me a thumbs up or a yes. How the 50, 30, 20 principle is a good starting point, but definitely not something that you have to stick to with an increase in income levels. Okay, just a second. Yeah. Shouldn't it be 50 needs, 30 savings, 20 wants? See, Kushagra, I completely agree with what you're saying. It is a thumb rule of thumb. It's not like a law. If you can get 30% to save and 20% on wants and you can live with that, absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. No one is saying no to that. But it's just a starting point that I'm giving you an idea as to how you can start your budgeting journey. Okay. And once you start with this, give these numbers. And then if you can increase your savings and reduce your needs or wants, great, because that will only help you in the future. Clear? Does that help? Does that answer help you guys? Great. Let's move forward. Any idea what this term is, guys? Net worth. Have you heard of this term? If yes, please tell me what it is. If no, tell me no. Net worth. Any idea? No. Okay. I have a couple of no's already. I have yes. So the person who has said yes, can you please type in what do you think net worth is? Okay. I'll tell you. Net worth in plain and simple terms is what your value is as an individual. That is assets minus liabilities. Assets minus liabilities is what net worth is, guys. Assets minus liabilities. Okay. How many of you know what assets are? What are assets? Quickly. What are assets? Assets are resources and things that we own. Yes. Okay. I'll give you one different kind of a definition today for assets. Okay. Think of assets like an investment, something that will add money to you rather than you have to pay money for it. Okay. Assets are something that you invest in as a result of which gives you money, which adds money, which kind of creates a source of passive income for you. Passive income, you all understand what passive income is? Passive income is basically that part of income for which I don't have to work regularly. As a result, if I'm sleeping, my bank account is still increasing. If I can create such sources of passive income along with my couple of active income sources, I am set for life. So think of asset as something that keeps adding money to you. Okay. It's basically saying that there will be some return on the asset. Obviously, may not be guaranteed return, Agrim. Sometimes assets also can give you a loss. No one is saying that's not possible. But yes, assets are those things where you will incur more income or money towards you. Okay. Liabilities, on the other hand, would be something that you'll have to pay for, like loans, like debt instruments. Okay. Those are some things that you will have to pay for. All right. Those are liabilities. Now, some form of liabilities are good to have because if you take that debt, if you take up that loan, you get money, you invest it somewhere, or you run a business with it, or you create another source of passive income from it and generate higher returns for it. In that situation, it makes it fine. Otherwise, liability is something that will burn a hole in your pocket. All right. It'll burn a hole in your pocket. And a lot of times as people in India, we land up investing more in liabilities than in assets. We think these are assets, but they are not assets. Example, car. How many of you think a car is an asset? Purchasing a car is an asset. So if there are people from the commerce background over here, in accountancy, it will fall under the assets side. I agree. But for finance, if I talk about finance, it's not ideally an asset because A, you're incurring an auto loan for it. B, you have to pay for its maintenance on a regular basis. C, you have to pay for the petrol. All right. So it is actually leaking money for you and it's a depreciating asset. That means its price will go down. Tomorrow, if you want to go back and sell it, it's not going to sell at a higher price. So you won't be able to make a profit out of it. All right. Now, someone can come and tell me that if I compare my Uber rides or my Ola rides, where I'm spending a lot of money there instead of buying a car. So if I do a cost benefit analysis and I see I'm spending 50,000 rupees a month on cabs, whereas if I own a car, I'll only spend about 40,000 rupees. In that situation, it makes sense. But oftentimes, it is not the situation. We'll end up buying cars thinking those are assets, but those are not assets. It's a liability. Know what's an asset and a liability. I'm not saying don't purchase a car. It's great to have a car. It has emotional value attached to it. It also gives you some comfort level. But do not think of it as an asset or an investment. Don't do that mistake. Clear? So when you write down all your assets and when you write down all your liabilities, all the things that you own, which are your assets, which are adding value to you, minus whatever you owe to others, which are your liabilities, will give you your net worth today. That what is your value? Remember, point one, understand what your current situation is. All right. Understand where you are today. Only then will you be able to embark upon a healthy journey for finance. All of you are together till here. Understood this concept thoroughly? Great, guys. Great. I must say you guys are really prompt. So thank you for that. It's a great audience that I have. Now, oftentimes we are taught, Khushi, we look at what portfolio is. I have seen your question. I'll come to that. Again, we'll look at it tomorrow. We'll do investments in detail tomorrow. I'll answer what a portfolio is, what equity is for you, both of them. Pakka. Is it necessary we need to pay in liabilities? It can be responsibility as well. So what I'm trying to tell you guys is I'm not saying that don't incur liabilities. You will incur liabilities. No one can be there without liabilities. I am just trying to say that you should know what an asset is and what a liability is. Do not be fooled. Do not be fooled by someone by saying that, okay, this is an asset, whereas it is not an asset, it's a liability. All right. Now, oftentimes we are told that income minus expenses savings. Do you agree with me? Income minus expenses is savings. Have you heard of this equation? But what we will do from today is this, guys. Income minus savings is equal to expenses. How many of you have heard of Warren Buffett? Warren Buffett. He's probably one of the most revered investors in our times. If you have not heard of him, please go back and look up on Google who Warren Buffett is. And you can hear him speak on this. And that's what we also kind of always tell people is whenever you get your income, first set aside your savings. Whatever your 20%, 30%, jo bhi hai, you set aside your savings right then. And then whatever is left after that is what you spend. It's a slight change in your attitude, guys. Income minus expenses is equal to savings is not correct. Income minus savings is equal to expenses is what we are looking at. First, save. Whatever you are left with after savings is what you spend. Clear? Now, these are things that I want you guys to live by regularly. Build assets, make money work for you, and follow the basic rule that assets increase your income, liabilities increase your expenses. Saving and investing is the key to building wealth. Saving and investing is the key to building wealth. We look at investments in detail, definitely. Okay. Now, this is something, how many of you have studied Rich Dad, Poor Dad, guys? Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Have you come across that book? Have you read that book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad? It's one of the most widely read books in the world on finance. If you are an avid reader, please go ahead and read that book. So what that book kind of summarizes for us is this only, that mostly what happens with low income and middle income groups is they're unable to build assets. Whereas the rich people build assets and these assets then keep adding to their income. So they have multiple sources of income, passive income, active income. So all these modes or sources of income keep working for them again and again throughout their life, as a result of which they keep enhancing their wealth. Whereas when you talk of low and middle income group, they do not have enough assets to kind of get more sources of passive income, as a result of which they are sometimes caught in that trap, which is what we want to come out of, guys. Which is what we want to come out of. All right. I told you liabilities will be there for the rich also, not denying that they'll not take loans. They will take loans, but they will also build assets. They will also build assets. And I've just put 2 over here. There can be 10 assets that can be there. So you don't have high income. You move from middle income to high income. You move from low income to high income. Not everyone is born with high income, guys. But no one is saying if you're born with middle income or low income, you can stay here only. So if you have middle income or if you have low income, pick a part of your salary and invest in assets so that these assets start contributing to your income. It becomes a loop effect. All right. And that's when you start creating wealth and you move from middle or low income to high income. Understood? Is this slide clear now? Great. Now, again, quick activity that I'll show you. I'll show you a simple, very simple budget I have made for a household, simple middle income household in India. They can have rent, mortgage, maintenance charges, utilities, internet, cable TV, food, groceries, various expenses. Do you guys resonate with these expenses? Do you think that even your household has these expenses? If some of you are looking at your household expenses with your parents, agreed? And I've put down the costs over here. Okay. All right. And just for you guys, I've also labeled it as N and W. N being needs, W being wants. N being needs, W being wants. Just a basic bifurcation I have done for you. Clear? So I get a very good question. Is it good to increase liabilities for purchasing assets? It's a risky strategy. It is a risky strategy. In some situations, it may be good. In some situations, it may be bad. There is no one answer for it, Nivesh. But yes, it is a risky strategy. You need to be very careful when you do that. It's like taking a loan from the bank and investing it in the stock market. The stock market might plummet. Okay. Mortgage is when you've taken a loan on your house, home loan. So you have to pay EMIs every month to the bank. That's what a mortgage is. Over here, we have created savings. Okay, I have savings. That's an emergency fund. Just for example, if I am in a job and unfortunately, if there is an unprecedented event, I might meet an accident and as a result of which I lose my job, or I may lose my job otherwise and there's no source of income, that emergency fund can come up as a savior for me for that period for my family. I have a retirement fund. I have other investments. So my total savings are 57,500. Okay. My total expenses, you can see here, my total expenses are 1,88,500. Okay. And I bifurcated that between needs and wants. So see, about 60% of my expenses are needs, 17% are wants, 23% are savings. Like I said, the 50-30-20 rule is a thumb rule. It is not a law. You will not be able to follow it all the time, but you will be in that vicinity. Clear? Any questions on this budget? Anyone? Anything at all? Because now what I will do is preparing. Thank you, Agrim. We'll share this table with you guys. Please feel free to prepare your own budget. Sit with your parents, sit with your guardians and do that for your households. That'll be good practice for you. So putting these things down is one part of it, guys. But now the difficult part comes in. When you have prepared a budget, in real life, you will come across lots of situations. Yes, EMI is a liability. EMI is definitely a liability that we need to pay on a monthly basis. EMI means equated monthly installments or equal monthly installments. Okay. Now, once you have prepared a budget is when the real test starts, which is you come across scenarios. Say, for example, scenario 1, there is a sudden increase in utility bills. Say, for example, your state government says now, I will charge higher unit charges for electricity or for water. So that will impact your budget, doesn't it? Would it impact your budget? Yes. I am giving you 3 options. What option do you think you would choose? A being reduce discretionary spending, B being adjust other categories, C being explore energy saving measures. What option resonates with you to tackle this kind of a situation, guys? If you have that particular budget that I just showed you, what do you think you would do? You have to choose only one, guys. I know all three look correct, but which one do you think would you want to go ahead with? Explore energy saving measures. So understand, guys, the moment you talk about explore energy saving measures, if you want to purchase energy efficient appliances, you might have to incur that major expense right now. Agreed. Say, for example, I want to install solar panels. That will reduce my electricity bill, but then that will be a major expense that I'll have to incur. So I'll have to have enough savings to be able to incur that expense of solar panels for myself. So see, all these options are correct in their own ways, guys. None of them are incorrect. But all of you have given me answers. Most of them have given me B and C as answers. A couple of them gave me A also. But what I was trying to show you here is the moment such situations arise, different people react to it differently to manage their budget, guys. And that comes from personal experience and personal situations that you are in. All right. Next. And there are 4 of them. The 4th one is really interesting. I would love to see that with you guys. So stay with me till the 4th one. Unexpected medical expenses come up. What would you do? A, B, or C? If there are some unexpected medical expense that has come up in your life, how will you manage your budget? What would you do? Someone has said B, consider payment plans or financial assistance. Okay. I also have C, maybe reduce savings for that particular period. Okay. Interesting. Reduce discretionary spending and okay. So when we say discretionary spending, it's basically reduce your wants. Okay. So again, these situations are very common. Medical expenses are something that always comes in and tosses your budget out of the window. So you need to be very, very careful of handling these smartly. Okay. 3rd one. If you have a job loss or a salary reduction, guys, a lot of us unfortunately saw this in COVID again. What would you do? Seek additional income sources. That is obviously go for part-time jobs, any sort of job that you can get to get some sort of money. Reevaluate long-term financial goals or prioritize essential expenses. Ki theek hai, whatever is essential, I'll do that. Stop everything else. So a lot of them are wanting to opt for option A. Some of them have gone for option B also. I see not many have chosen option C. And last one, guys. I've given no options for this. Winning a lottery of 5 lakhs, what would you do? What would you do as an individual if you won rupees 5 lakhs as lottery today? And there can be a multitude of things that you do. So you can tell me, ki thoda sa ye karunga, thoda sa wo karunga, I'll do this, I'll do that. I'm only getting investments and savings. Honestly, finally, I get someone says I'll spend a little bit on wants and some on savings. Good. Guys, enjoy. One thing I'll tell you, and I'll tell you this tomorrow and day after tomorrow also. Yes, I'm talking about financial literacy. I'm going to talk about savings, investments, but please learn to enjoy your money as well. All right. Please make sure that if you're winning such a lottery that you spend some of it on your wants. You need to enjoy money. You need to make sure that you're living your goals and dreams. That's what you're earning money for also. Not saying that splurge around. Spend all 5 lakhs on a trip. Don't do that. But save some of it. I really like something here. Someone has said that I would want to spend on my education or on my upskilling. That's a great idea. Spend a portion of that on upskilling yourself, because the biggest investment that you can do is yourself. Invest in yourself, invest in your skills, invest in your health, invest in your well-being. Do that always. We often tend to ignore ourselves. So when you're getting such money, when you make such money, make sure that you're enjoying it through your wants, spending it on your needs, as well as saving and investing in various assets, including yourself. All right. I'll move forward. Now that we have seen that, isn't it better to not depend on luck? No, I'm not saying depend on lotteries, but obviously if you get a lottery, who will say no to it? I'm not saying you're depending on lotteries. Obviously, it's a one-time gain that you're getting. It's a windfall gain. No one is depending on lotteries. I'm not saying make that your career. But say, for example, you get a good bonus from your boss when you're in a job. All right. Now, Point one was understanding your scenario, which we did through assets, liabilities, income, expenses, net worth. What was point B, guys? Your goals. Where do you want to go to? Okay. And one rule that you should follow when you're making goals is make them smart, guys. Make your goals smart. And when I say smart, I mean specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, time bound. Don't tell me I'll score well in boards. Don't tell me that. Tell me I will score XYZ percentage in boards. That is what a smart goal is. Don't tell me I'll create a good portfolio by the end of college. I'll invest. I'll be a good investor by the end of college. Don't tell me that. Tell me I will save and invest XYZ amount by the end of college. So you give yourself an attainable task, which is measurable and time bound, and be very specific. A goal can be, I will buy a Zara t-shirt, a black Zara t-shirt worth 2,000 rupees by December 2023. The moment you have that goal in mind clearly written in front of you is when you will you'll be able to start saving and investing for it, guys. I'll give you some examples over here. This was a slide that one of my students prepared for herself. Okay, one of my students prepared for herself. I've removed some amounts over here just for her sake. But see, clarity. I want to go to Turkey with friends in 4 years. She had also put the amount. I've removed the amount. You can put your amount that you feel would be relevant to go to Turkey. So knowing where you are and where you want to go is very, very important. Very, very important. Oh, I got a good one. I want to make a video on YouTube about financial literacy every week till 2025. Great, Nakul, contact me. I will be happy to assist you in it and create it for you as well as others. Buy a house in 10 years. Again, she had given an amount for that. Buy a house. And she had also spoken about the particular locality and city that she wanted to purchase her house in. So that's how you should be meticulous and clear about your goals when you're defining them to be able to embark upon the correct journey in this. This activity is something that I would give you guys as homework. Write down 5 goals for yourself. It can be as small as buying a pair of jeans to as big as buying a home or going for an international trip or buying a bike or buying a car or anything else that comes to mind, guys. Or giving something for charity. That can also be a good goal. But make it specific, make it measurable, make it attainable, make it time-bound, make it relevant. So today, for example, if I score 60% every year, I should not give myself a target of 90% in the next 6 months because that relatively seems unattainable. All right. Let's take it step by step. 60 say 70 is attainable, 70 say 80 is attainable, 80 say 90 is attainable. So give yourself things that are relevant for you and attainable for you. Clear? Now, quickly, I'll move into banks. I like to call banks a marketplace for money. I call it marketplace because all of us are well versed with what marketplaces are. Lots of us are on Amazon, on various other e-commerce websites today, wherein we buy and sell products. That's what banks do for you. They help you deposit money. Any extra money I have or you have, you can go ahead and deposit your money in the bank. And anyone who has less money and wants more money can go to the bank for loaning up money. These are the 2 primary functions that a bank has. Depositing money, taking deposits from saving people who want to save, and loaning out money to people who want extra money for whatever purpose they want. Clear? Why are banks important? Banks are important because they keep our money safe. They pay us interest on the money so that I can earn some money on my savings. And in times of need, they can loan money to me. These are various functions or requirements of a proper banking system to exist in the economy, guys. Without a proper banking system, it becomes difficult for us to go ahead. We'll shoot up by 5 to 10 minutes of time. Is that fine with all of you? Just about 5 to 10 minutes. Is that fine, guys? We'll wrap it up by 6:10. It's already 6. Give me 10 minutes, okay? Next. How does a bank earn money, guys? Any guesses? How does a bank earn money? From deposits? No, not from deposits, guys. From investment, by interest. Yes, interest is the right word. So what happens, just try and see. I've made a small flow diagram over here. A depositor deposits money with the bank. Bank uses this deposit to create loans and earn interest income from these loans. So money that you deposit, bank pays you interest. So whenever the bank gets deposits, it has to pay interest, so it becomes an expense. And whenever a bank gives out loans, they earn interest on it. And generally the interest they charge on the loans is higher than the interest they pay on the deposits. So the net interest income, which is interest income from loans minus interest expense, is what the earning of a bank is. This is the primary source of earning. There are other ways also that the banks can earn. For example, the lockers. We pay rents for those lockers. That's one of the ways that the bank earns. Foreign exchange, when you go out, you go to the bank and you exchange for the currency. In that situation also, bank earns some money. So these are the ways that the banks can earn money from the customers that they have. Clear, guys? Yes, amazing question. Now, the question is, what if everyone pulls out money at the same time from the bank? Wouldn't this obliterate the process? For example, if 1 lakh people deposit 100 rupees each, so that is 1 crore rupees. 1 lakh people deposit 100 rupees each, that is 1 crore rupees deposited in the bank. What the bank does is they create a ratio, or they calculate a percentage that they loan out. Suppose that percentage is 90%. So out of that 1 crore, they will keep 10 lakhs with them and go ahead and loan out 90 lakhs to the audience or the people who want the loans, or borrowers. This calculation is done. And again, this is something that we do as actuaries. This calculation is done with the assumptions and the understanding of the history of what percentage of people generally come to ask for money in the bank. How often do you think all 1 lakh people will come and ask for all their money back? Do you think it's something that can occur very frequently? It's almost an impossible event. It's almost an impossible event. So what we do is we pool large number of people. It's called the law of large numbers in statistics. We pool a large number of people who deposit the money with us, and we keep a certain percentage of which we know that depositors can come for that percentage of money over that period and lend the rest of it. All right. That is why that particular thing to occur, that all of them come on the same day, is almost impossible. Having said that, if that happens and if that miracle occurs, the banking system will collapse, guys, because obviously they won't have money to give. All right. But trust me, that's almost impossible for it to happen. All people going on the same day and asking for all their money back from the bank. Clear? I hope I've answered that for you, but a very good question. As I said, the primary functions of the bank are lending and borrowing money. Depositing money and lending money. And the secondary functions, there can be many secondary functions. I'm just listing down a few of them that you might have seen. It helps you transfer money through checks, through online transfers, locker facilities, foreign exchange. So these are other secondary functions that it provides you with. How can you deposit money in the bank? Either through accounts, that is your saving account and current account. Savings account will pay you interest. Current account is for businesses. It does not pay interest. Current accounts is for only businesses. Individuals cannot open current account. Savings account, anyone can open, and you get interest on savings accounts. All right, guys. Or you can enter into a deposit scheme, which is a fixed deposit and a recurring deposit. FD. I'm sure you've heard of the term FD. How many of you have heard of the term FD, guys? FD. It's something that almost all Indians do that. Okay, so that is FD. FD is basically lump sum putting amount of money in lump sum with the bank over a period of time and earning a fixed rate of interest on it. Recurring deposit, on the other hand, is lump sum. I'm not putting money lump sum in one go. I'm putting it every month with the bank. That's the only difference, guys. So if I have, say, 1 lakh rupees, I put 1 lakh rupees in one go. That's FD. If I have only 10,000, I say, okay, every month I'll put 10,000. That is an RD, recurring deposit. Clear? Now, quickly, this is a standard check that we have. You will have the IFSC code, which basically tells you which branch are you in. You have the 9-digit MICR, the 6-digit, which is a check number. Your account number will be there. Who you have to pay to, what is the amount, you have to write it in words. Make sure, guys, there is never going to be any overwriting in a check. You cannot overwrite in a check. If in that case, the check gets cancelled. It's not something that they will permit. Okay. You put the amount in numbers, you sign over here. Okay. Put the right date. Right above the date, you see, guys, it's valid for 3 months. So from the date of issue, it will be valid for 3 months. After 3 months, the check is called a stale check. Stale check. It's not valid anymore. It's not valid anymore. Another thing is, you see, you write the name here to whom you want to pay or bearer. So how does it read? Pay Vedant or the bearer this much amount. This is the whole sentence. So if I don't strike out this bearer word, whosoever goes with this check to the bank, they will pay them that amount. Whatever amount is written over here, they will pay them that amount. So for example, you gave me a check of 1 lakh rupees. You wrote pay Vedant or bearer 1 lakh rupees. And I drop that check on the road. Someone gets it. Someone goes to the bank and shows him or her that check on the counter. They will get that 1 lakh rupees and I'll end up losing it, guys. That's a bearer check. If you don't want it to be a bearer check, it means it's an account pay check. That means whatever I've written over here, whichever account number I've put over here, whichever person's name I put over here, whichever company's name I put over here, the bank will only credit that money in that particular account and not give it to the bearer of the check because I've striked it out. All right. And in that situation, we cross the check. That means we draw a couple of parallel lines over here and we write it's an account pay check. So we write account pay. That is what an account pay check is. If you don't strike it out, it's a bearer check. If you write account pay, it becomes an account pay check, which is a more secure way of paying. Understood, guys, the difference between an account pay and a bearer check, guys? Self check is again a bearer check. Self check means you say pay self. That means I am coming to you, pay me. That's it. So there, don't strike out the bearer. Don't strike out the bearer. Clear? Great. Debit card. All of you know what a debit card is. What's a debit card, guys? I'm sure you would have seen debit cards or used debit cards also. What's a debit card? What's the difference between a debit and a credit card? Quickly tell me. What's the difference with a debit or credit card? What's the difference between a debit and a credit card? Credit card is borrowed money. Credit card is a loan. Exactly. Credit card is, we use it now, we pay later. So it's a interest-free loan for a certain period of time, only a certain period of time, guys. Debit card is basically your own money. So whatever is there in your account, you have to pay using that. Also, guys, remember, you generate OTPs, that is one-time passwords when you're using debit cards or credit cards. You also have an ATM PIN associated with it, a CVV number associated with it. Make sure you never share these things, guys. This is a cybersecurity tip that I'm giving you. Do not share these things ever. Okay. You guys are right. Credit card is, on the other hand, a loan, an interest-free loan up to I think 50-55 days. It's interest-free. After that, they charge a very high amount of interest, guys. Very high amount of interest. Okay. Clear up till now? Now, quickly, I will have some questions for you. You have to identify, I will give you 3 statements. You have to identify which one is the lie. Okay. Which one is false. Clear? First one. It's on credit cards only. Point A, using credit cards responsibly can help you better your credit score. Point B, if you pay your minimum amount every month on the credit card bill, then no interest is charged on the leftover amount. And point C, credit cards can be issued by banks even if you do not have an account with them. Which of these 3 is false? C is false, B is false. Okay, I'm getting C, lots of C's. Unfortunately, guys, the correct answer is B. So credit score is basically, credit score tells you that how credit worthy you are as a person. Higher credit score means you can be given loans, you can be given higher limit credit cards because you have repaid them on time. So it's safe to give you money. B, on the other hand, is false, that whenever you get these messages, I'm sure you would be able to see it with your guardians, with your parents, that pay minimum amount by this particular day on your credit card instead of paying the full amount. Have you seen this kind of message? That if you can't pay the full amount, pay minimum amount. Have you seen this kind of a message? If you pay minimum amount, say for example, if my credit card bill was 50,000 and minimum amount is 10,000, I pay 10,000. Guys, you'll pay a very, very hefty interest on the pending amount. It can go up to 30-40% a year also. That's how hefty it can get from card to card, from bank to bank. Okay. So make sure that whenever you're using credit cards, pay the full amount. Do not fall in the trap of paying the minimum amount ever. Okay. It will really impact your credit score. It will reduce your credit score drastically. Plus, the interest burden will burn a hole in your pocket. And credit cards can be issued by a bank even if you don't have an account, guys. It does not require you to have an account. So the last one is absolutely true. Now, minors can have bank accounts. Interest is paid on current account. NEFT, RTGS, and IMPS facilities are available on savings account. By the way, NEFT, RTGS, and IMPS are 3 types of electronic transfers. 3 types of electronic transfers that are there in India, through which you can transfer money from A account to B account. Correct, guys. A lot of you have answered B. I just said current account is an account where interest is not paid. Minors can have bank accounts, and NEFT, RTGS, IMPS facilities are available on savings accounts as well. Obviously, when you guys, most of you are minors, I know. You guys can open bank accounts, but you'll need to have a guardian, maybe your parent or someone who will be able to sign for you. Okay. This we just saw. Which one is the truth? Which one is false here, guys? Just now we saw the 50-30-20 principle, guys. Yes, all of you are correct. B is false. B is false. Please never make it a rule for yourself. Don't make 50% wants, 30% needs, and 20% savings. Never get into that trap. Okay. Next up, interest earned on savings account is not taxable. That is, whenever you have money in savings account and you get interest, you don't pay tax on it. That is A. B is interest in savings account is not suitable for long-term goals. And C is savings account gives you easy access to money, hence it is liquid. Yes, guys, A is incorrect. You have to pay taxes on the interest that you earn on savings account. B is not correct, and we will see that tomorrow, because we do not invest in savings account because you do not get enough returns. You do not get enough returns on savings account to be able to meet your long-term goals. Clear? C is absolutely correct. It gives you access to money easily. Last one. What of these 3 transfers money instantly? NEFT, IMPS, RTGS. In case you do not know, I'll tell you. NEFT is National Electronic Fund Transfer Method. IMPS is instant money transfer. RTGS is real-time money transfer. The answer is, guys, NEFT. NEFT happens in batches. It can take up to 1 to 2 hours also sometimes. IMPS and RTGS happens immediately. Immediately they happen. They are transferred from one account to the other account immediately in real time. Clear, guys? So that's about it for today.